Hello friends, James Stevenson back with another episode of Who's Hatin' Hard on Tesla Today, the show in which I, James Stevenson, show you somebody trolling or hating on Tesla. Let's see here. I'll click here to reveal the Loki's spot backdrop. I had something else pulled up in front from looking at a different thing a minute ago, but you can see Loki is still curled up in bed. He'll do that and phone it in, sleeping on the job literally, while I share my desktop with you and show you the 4-year anniversary of these tweets from Chris Fisher, former Who's Hatin' Hard on Tesla Today featured tweeter, along with today's featured hater, Seneca at Finance Skeptic. What did Chris say? He said, "I don't really care about what other automakers are doing. In any case, they're profitable and Tesla is not." This was a very popular line of reasoning 4 years ago. And somebody here replied, bold to state this soon before earnings. What earnings was Dion Lord referencing? Well, if it was July of 2019, Tesla was about to report Q2 2019 earnings, as they're about to report Q2 2023 earnings soon, next week. What did Seneca reply? Not bold at all. Hashtag Tesla is structurally unprofitable, which is an expression TSLAQ used all the time 4 or 5 years ago. It got a lot less popular immediately after this tweet, and I'll show you why in a second. Structurally unprofitable is an expression invented by TSLAQ. To the best of my knowledge, if you Google structurally unprofitable, what you'll find is almost exclusively Tesla haters hating hard on Tesla, pretending that there was something unique to Tesla's business model that guaranteed they would never be able to post sustainable profits. Now, Tesla had reported profits a few times prior to this tweet, but TSLAQ believed they were juggling the profits that would otherwise have been losses by timing the payment of expenses between quarters or some such accounting nonsense. It was a popular theory at the time. The company is 16 years around and hasn't achieved one profitable year. I think Seneca's native language is German, judging by a lot of the replies they have on Twitter. And that won't change in 2019. Tesla won't report a profit in 2019, was Seneca's claim. Let's take a look at the numbers. So if I bring up the Tesla earnings projection model here, let me zoom in here some so you can see this better. I'll just show you the non-GAAP earnings for Tesla here. I've got my column headers locked. So you can see 2018 began the year losing $567 million, losing $521 million, Q1 and Q2. Then in Q3 and Q4, Tesla reported profits of $510 million and $351 million. These were the most recent actuals Tesla had reported at the time these tweets were sent, a $493 million loss, so a return to losses here. And then in Q2, Tesla reported a smaller loss of $192 million shortly after those tweets were sent. What's happened since then? So during the quarter in which these tweets were sent and every quarter since, Tesla's made a profit every single quarter since. $342 million, $386, $227, $452, $843, $903, then crossing $1 billion in Q1 2021 of non-GAAP earnings. 1.6, 2.1, 2.9, 3.7, 2.6, 3.6, 4.1, and now $2.9 billion worth of profits on the non-GAAP earnings line. So structurally unprofitable is a lot less popular of an expression these days. But has Seneca, Finance Skeptic, learned their lesson? Well, let's go look at some recent replies. This account doesn't send lots of tweets anymore. They used to send a lot more than they send now. But here's a reply to Troy TSLAQ asking a poll question: when do you think Tesla might achieve driverless full self-driving? 1 to 2 years, 3 to 4 years, 5 to 10 years, 11 to 20 years. Seneca didn't like any of those 4 options because his response was never. no matter how much time you give Tesla, if you gave them 1,000 years, they'll never figure out driverless full self-driving. Is the opinion from Seneca. That's still hating hard on Tesla today. Even if that tweet was from May 18th. Let's see what else we have here. Back on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Seneca replied, still better than coal, in response to William Minahan saying, Porsche burns gas. That is a horrible vehicle. Yeah, true. What's Seneca alluding to here? The long tailpipe theory, the long since debunked long tailpipe theory that EVs are dirtier than gasoline cars because the only way to produce electricity is to burn coal. There are no other ways to produce electricity except to burn coal. Therefore, EVs are dirtier. Hopefully it's obvious how patently false that argument is. Then we have a tweet from Fly4Dat here, tweeting Porsche outsold Tesla in Germany in April. So let's cherry pick not just the country, but also the month, and say Porsche outsold Tesla. We'll update my sheet in an hour. So Seneca here is replying with, do you mean the truth, with a link to the time period Fly4Dat cherry picked deliberately, April of 2023, in only Germany. If you only count Germany and if you only count April, Porsche outsold Tesla. Okay, well, let's look at the larger picture. Here's what the B of A global research numbers say for year-to-date May 2023 in Europe. The Tesla Model Y is the #1 selling EV by far, with the Volkswagen ID4, ID3, and Audi Q4, which we can count as a VW vehicle. Along with the Tesla Model 3, still in the top 5, despite being produced in China and not in Europe, like nearly all of these other vehicles are produced locally there in Europe. The Model 3 needs to get imported, which is a lot more costly, resulting in a higher out-of-pocket cost for the Model 3. Still selling really well in Europe. And then I'll click on the EU EVs site as well, just to show you, if you limit the data to only Germany and only April, Tesla was in 3rd place in that month in that country, behind a couple of VW vehicles, selling only 1,636 vehicles. Is this cause to be alarmed? Oh, by the way, where's Porsche? Are they even here? We're looking at electric vehicles now, so they disappeared off the list. If I scroll all the way down, where's Porsche? Here they are. Way down here is the Taycan. They sold 205 Taycans in Germany in April. But let's do something different. Let's go, instead of to Germany, let's do all 14 countries. That's a better idea. Let's just look at all of Europe. Hey, in the month of April, Tesla did outsell every other model vehicle. The Model Y outsold every other model vehicle. And then let's expand this time period to be the full year, 2023. All the data available in the EU EVs database. Hey, we've got the Tesla Model Y #1, the Tesla Unknown #2. What's this mean? It means that in some of the countries, the model isn't reported. So for those countries, they don't list a model. They just combine all the models together and call it unknown. And then Model 3 is here in 4th place, ahead of the ID4. Crazy for year-to-date 2023. I guess they're breaking apart the ID4 and the ID5. Is that what's going on here? I don't know. But these are the EU EVs numbers. This site is actually run by a TSLAQ member in good standing, Alex T., who's been hating hard on Tesla for a long time. So there you go. That's the full context. If you don't want to cherry pick the country and the month, which Seneca did want to do here, providing a link to the April German sales so that you can see that if you include the gasoline cars Porsche sells, they did outsell Tesla that month in that country. And that's my video for today. So we'll check back in with Loki. and see that he's still sleeping in bed. If you've enjoyed today's episode of Who's Hating Hard on Tesla Today, give this video a like on whatever platform you're using. If that's YouTube or Twitter or Patreon, if you're supporting me there. It's free to just subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do that right over here and click the alert bell to get notifications whenever I post fresh content. But thank you to everybody who does support me on Patreon or on Twitter or by joining my YouTube channel as my executive producers did. Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.